Good Saturday, everyone. Khambrel, Marshall, KPRC2 meteorologist. Once again, this is a broken record. I pulled out the thesaurus this morning because I was trying to find all the different ways I could say hot. You know, sizzling, searing, toasty, you name it. That's what we are today, once again. And this is a cooler part of what's going to be ahead. We've got even warmer temperatures ahead. Look at July so far. 97 was a high yesterday. We're going to be close to 98 today, I think. Going into Sunday and Monday, 100 degrees. We've had 5 100-degree days so far this July. Look at the number of days that are below average. Only 3. They stand out really. But you know what? This month is not as hot as last month was. So we should be thankful, I guess, by just a little bit. So here's the deal. For the week ahead, the trend for the hot temperatures throughout the United States of America, we are ground zero for all the heat that's going to be around all the way across Texas and the Gulf Coast states. It's just going to be hot. There's no way to get around that. So be ready for that going forward here. And this is something that we should take very seriously because the heat is the top weather fatality here. Over the last 10 years, for example, you look at the deaths. The average number of deaths from heat, 153, which is really outdistances flood by quite a bit. Rip currents, winds, tornadoes down 49, hurricanes only 8. Clearly, any loss is a lot. But that's a 10-year average. If you look back on the last 30 years, heat is still the biggest cause of death as far as weather is concerned. So it's something to be taken very seriously. We talk about it, we talk about it, and we talk about it, but this is the real deal. We have some Sahara dust out there once again, so the air quality is not great, but it's just moderate. So it could be a lot worse. And the dust that's here now is not going to be sticking around. Here's a dust that's around as of 10 o'clock this morning, still mostly off to the west. But look what happens. We put this in motion, the future track, looking at the dust moving on out of here in the overnight hours and gone by tomorrow. So we'll just have good old-fashioned heat tomorrow, right? And haze and some of the other things that go along with that. So we're tracking and watching. That's what we do here at KPRC2, always tracking and watching. So dusty, dry weekend, tracking that. Tracking the heat advisory, which is not in place for today, but very likely could be in place probably Monday. It could happen tomorrow, but I think more like Monday is a better chance for that. And a brutally hot week ahead. There's no way to get around that. Normally, our high is 96 degrees. We're going to be 98 today at Bush and 97 at Hobby, 93 at Galveston. Short of the records, but close enough at Hobby anyway. Look at the record at Bush, 1907. And Galveston's record of 96 was set by 1875. We won't hit that today. I'm fairly secure about that. Temperatures as we do this in the morning, already 88 in Galveston, 87 in Conroe. Temperatures feeling like 100 degrees in Katy already. This is part of the trend. I only show you this because at the time of the day you're watching this, these temperatures will have passed. But I wanted to show you this trend. So the feels like temperatures already in 100s as we're not even at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. And the winds are consistently coming from the south. Not very brisk, but they're there. So keep that in mind. High pressure that's off in the Gulf is what helping to bring in that flow from the south. The moisture that's going to be there. You notice where the rain is, mostly up in the upper Midwest and over in the Great Lakes area and in the southeastern United States. A lot of it has to do with where the high pressure is located in the Gulf, flowing and pushing some of that moisture up toward where the cooler air from the northern states and from Canada, this the dividing line. So the showers are there, and the upper level high that you see over the Four Corners area of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado. This, by the way, this is indicative of the 250 millibar height, so about 35,000 feet up. Big area of high pressure, this sinking air. And also, a little bit farther south, or a little bit less in elevation, 500 millibar, it's more like 18,000 feet, but it still has that circulation around that big area of high pressure, and that's what's in place for us. The jet stream is well to the north, taking most of the storms with it, but that area you see in the red is where the impact of that high pressure dome is impacting all of our conditions, sinking air. And so the rain really doesn't get a chance to form as a result of that. Here's a future track looking at what we can expect this afternoon. Look at this. That's paltry. We need more. But we're not going to get much more than that, okay? So just be ready for that. Here's a future track looking at the temperatures going up to noon, 95 at Bush, 92 at Sugar Land, 85 in Galveston. Look what happens by the time we get to 4 o'clock. 98 in Galveston. By the way, 98 in Bush, right, and Hobby. I don't believe that 86 in Galveston for a moment. But just go with me on the bush and hobby temperatures. 98, 96 in Katy, 97 in Sugar Land. That's today at 4 o'clock. Overnight, we go down to the 70s once again, mid 70s starting out. And in fact, I think tomorrow may be a little bit warmer than what this is showing here, like 78, I think, tomorrow morning. But we'll see. But tomorrow afternoon, that 98 goes bye-bye. We're back in the triple digits once again for tomorrow, and it's the beginning of a trend. So here's the deal for today. Going to be about 97, 98 degrees from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. We're going to go up to 98, by the way, by 4. So we're going to be that hot temperature. We're looking at the tropics now. This area in the Atlantic is not going to impact the United States. It's going to curve up to the northern Atlantic, about a 70% chance of developing. If it does, it'll become Emily. But we're looking at this area right down off the Central American area. This is likely to become a next tropical system in the Pacific. The good news for most is that it is moving away from Mexico and the western part of the United States and the western part of Mexico. So that's good news for all of them. So here's a look at the 10-day forecast then. Notice a trend, 98 today, 100. By the way, the Texans have today off. They'll be playing back in training camp tomorrow. 100s and 100 degrees across the board, triple digits all next week. Don't get cool very much either. 80s, the low temperatures for the morning. So we're in the trend. We've been in this trend before. We're in this trend again. So drink plenty of water. There's no heat advisory today. That doesn't mean you shouldn't act like there is one. Hydrate, hydrate. Water as opposed to beer, alcoholic beverages. Stay away from those. We had a good report on our newscast earlier today talking about the kinds of drinks you should have and can't have. Avoid caffeine, for example. Water is the best thing for you. So do that. Hydrate, stay safe. Justin Stapleton in for your viewing pleasure this afternoon.